This is a breakdown of the past 12 hours in Gaza. Israel is officially expanding its genocide of Gaza, intensifying the bombings and confirming that they've launched a ground invasion deep into Gaza. Last night, which is being referred to as the bloodiest night since the beginning of the genocide, in the middle of the night, they bombed the telecommunication center, cutting off all cellular, landline, and internet in Gaza, literally cutting them off from the world. And they didn't just switch it off. It's not an on and off button. The physical systems powering their communications and internet, the data centers, the networks, the servers, the cables that connect them to the world, destroyed, bombed. As in, there's no turning it back on or getting it back up anytime soon. Then once they put Gaza in a near total blackout, they began to carpet bomb them harder than they were before. For more than 3 weeks now, Israel has cut their electricity, they cut their water, they cut their food supply, cut any medical aid from entering. They cut them off the grid, cut all communications, then waited for nighttime and strategically chose to intensify airstrikes. While the Palestinians are literally sitting in the dark. They're ramping up airstrikes because now Palestinians can't report or broadcast what Israel is doing. That is terrorism. Israeli occupation forces stated that they are flattening and leveling northern and eastern Gaza to make way for the ground invasion. In the darkness of the night, Palestinians are screaming in the streets because they're being bombed and they can't even see what's right in front of them. They can't see the destruction around them or even see if their family members are dead. Pitch black. And the only light source they have available is the light from the bombings.
Allahu Akbar.
Now, because there's no way for people to communicate with each other, Muslim leaders are crying out for help through the speakers used for the call to prayer when we make adhan.
وإنا نستقوي بقوتك عليهم يا أهل الإسلام يستغيثون بكم أن تدعوا ربكم أن ينصرهم.
Because there's no phone service, people can't call 911 for the ambulance, or for them it's 101. So now those who are injured and dying from all the bomb attacks, they can't even call the central emergency number for help. So they're just sitting there slowly waiting to die. The injured and the ambulance can't communicate. Even the local radio stations, they're being controlled by Israel right now. They've been intercepted by the Israeli military, who keeps telling Palestinians in northern Gaza to evacuate to the south, while they're continuously bombing the south. So what is Israel targeting? What's their current objective? Well, according to their latest tweets, they'd like to bomb the largest hospital in Gaza, a Shifa hospital, that is currently sheltering thousands of Palestinians. Why do they want to bomb it? Well, according to their tweets, it is the secret headquarters for Palestinian terrorists. This is what is called manufacturing consent, pushing a narrative through propaganda to justify bombing a hospital filled with thousands of Palestinians, convincing the world to give them consent to do it. And of course, in true Israeli military fashion, by providing zero proof of these claims. But the joke's on them, because the world is no longer stupid. Manufacturing consent might have worked in the old days, like during the invasion of Iraq, pre-social media. But now that the world can see exactly what Israel is doing, no one believes you. They are scrambling because they can't control the narrative on social media the way that they can through traditional media. While we still grieve and we pray for the people of Palestine, we ask that Allah protects them and raise the ranks of those who are martyred. But we still continue to fight and speak up for the people in Gaza. From what I see, we're still winning social media. Just looking at metrics alone, something as simple as hashtags. Israeli hashtags like Stand With Israel, Pray For Israel, they've been used millions of times. But if you look at Palestinian hashtags, we have billions, y'all. Billions. So keep pushing, keep talking, keep praying.
This is an important update for Palestine. IOF officials have published an article saying that Hamas's main operations base is under the Shifa hospital in Gaza City. They have been warning for the past 2 weeks to evacuate all the hospitals, but if you are in the medical field, you know how hard it is to evacuate medical patients in normal conditions. Nonetheless, in conditions under a genocide, where everything is literally blocked off, they have nowhere to go. Currently, there are more than 50,000 people taking refuge at Al-Shifa Hospital. You can go online. You can go onto Motat's Instagram and see how packed these hospitals are. Please interact with any video that you see about this. This 50,000 Palestinians. Whether Hamas was there or not, that's 50,000 people.
This is going to be the worst massacre that anybody can witness in human history. Listen to this. The IDF and the General Security Service revealed the truth about placing a Hamas terrorist headquarters under the main hospital in Gaza City. The main hospital in Gaza City, it's called the Shifa Hospital. Shifa Hospital has at least 40,000 displaced person taking it as a refuge. If they publish this, it's a warning, or they're going to bomb the hospital without the fucking warning. What the fuck?
What you and I are going to do in this video is we're going to reclaim the narrative of the underground tunnels of Gaza. And I urge every single person watching this to share this video far and wide to expose this duplicitous, twisted way of misconstruing and warping reality in order to paint Palestinian people as animals. We've heard the Israeli spokespeople call Palestinians inhuman animals. We are now seeing imagery of using things like the underground tunnels to make it look like these are the homes of these animals, and that only works to justify genocide and ethnic cleansing. So let's reclaim that narrative together. The first question we need to ask ourselves is, why were the tunnels built in the first place? Like, for me personally, I like walking on the street and stuff like that, so why the hell would someone choose to go into underground tunnel? It wasn't a choice. It's because after Israel imposed their blockade on Gaza, there were zero imports and zero exports coming into and out of Gaza. The only way there was any commercial activity was happening, it was through these underground tunnels. So what was being smuggled in these tunnels? Women's underwear, car parts, goats and sheep, KFC, plastic chairs. To do what? To refit a school destroyed by Israeli bombs. From an article published in 2011 by Reuters, WikiLeaks cable reveals Israel told US officials in 2008 it would keep Gaza's economy on the brink of collapse while avoiding a humanitarian crisis. Enter one of the most horrific presentations I have ever laid my eyes on by the Israeli Defense Force. Enter the food consumption in the Gaza Strip Red Lines presentation. Now, the Israeli Ministry of Defense claims that these things were just drafts. They were never used at any stage in time as a basis for implementing civilian policy towards the Gaza Strip, but I think it's worth looking into. Let's see what this draft has to say. This presentation has one main point: controlling the number of calories coming into Gaza. What? No? Yes. Controlling the exact number of calories to ensure that the people in Gaza do not experience malnutrition at the bare minimum level. It says the goal of analysis is to identify the point of intervention for prevention of malnutrition in the Gaza Strip. What word do you use for that? How do you describe such a presentation where you're going to... By the way, the number of calories per person that they want to give in Gaza was 2,279, and they did all this research to show exactly what the minimum number of calories would be to ensure that there's no humanitarian crisis of malnutrition in Gaza. They have kids aged 0 to 1 as part of their analysis in this presentation. Remember, who the hell do you think you are to control the number of calories entering a region like... And then in response to the... There wasn't a tunnel in the first. In response to the blockade, they made an underground tunnel to bring what? Women's underwear? Sheep? That's what the underground tunnel... Plastic chairs? And somehow this narrative has been twisted to use scary underground tunnel imagery in order to paint all of the Gazans as animals that deserve to die. How, as a world, have we allowed this to happen? It's so crazy for me to think that just in 2009, mainstream media outlets were calling the Gazan underground tunnels Gaza's Labyrinth Lifeline. It's insane. I'll give it to the media and I'll give it to Israel. You've constructed a great narrative, right? You've warped a struggle for survival into the painting of an entire population into animals. It's masterful work, right? Because a good narrative needs two really important things: really strong language, and we've seen that from Israeli spokespeople where they call Gazans inhuman animals that basically deserve to be bombed. And the second thing you need in a good narrative is strong imagery, and I think the tunnels do a great job. Scary dark tunnel with flashlights and barely any visibility. I've got to take my hats off to you, but unfortunately that narrative is coming to an end.
So I found this on the news today. Israel will flood Hamas's tunnel with nerve gas under U.S. Navy supervision. They want to use chemicals on Hamas. Nerve gas, there's like so many different type of nerve gases out there. Majority of them penetrate the gas through skin or inhaling. So I don't know whoever leaked this, because they said that it was leaked. Like somebody from somewhere put this information out there, which gives Hamas plenty of time to get ready. But anyway, this is their excuse. They want to, if you read the article, they want to put the nerve gas in, flood it, kill Hamas, take the hostages out. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, if too much nerve gas is down there, it can kill everybody. So I don't really think that they care about these hostages too much. I honestly believe hostages are just a number. They're just a fucking number. I'm sure they don't even know the names of these hostages. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's all BS. They don't care about no damn hostages. The fuck?